We've never left, continuing to film Star Foodies on the road, and with me today is Michelle, owner of Humble Pie Tart Factory, and I couldn't be happier to have you with me today because I love to bake.
Thank you, Christina.
So it's a pleasure to speak with you. Now, you got to tell me where you got that name.
Humble Pie came from a bakery that actually was in Muskoka long before I relocated here a number of years ago, called the Humble Pie Bakery. It started, I believe, out of Dorset, ended up here in our small village.
Oh, okay.
I resurrected it in 2010 with help of the original owner.
I love that term, resurrected. You brought it back to life.
Yes.
Now, we were chatting a little bit earlier. So this is not a generation-based, let's say, business that was passed on from your family. You have a different background, and it's an inspiring story, and I want you to tell viewers about it.
I relocated to from Toronto to Muskoka, leaving behind a 25-year corporate career. When I moved here, I realized there were not too many corporate opportunities. So when I ended up in this small village, I kept my ears open, just listening for opportunities. And I heard that the local cafe had lost their baker, or was losing their baker. So I thought, I love food. How difficult can it be to come up with some baked goods? So I went home, did a little bit of research on the internet, combined some recipes, presented them to the cafe, and they loved them. And I guess, as they say, the rest is history.
So when you say, because I love to bake, but as a hobby, right? I don't consider myself professional. So when you say you started combining recipes, what did you start doing?
Well, I love cooking, and I mostly cook savory. I love cooking, and so I research recipes. I see the flavors that I know the flavor are going to complement each other. Baking's a little bit different. It's a little bit more chemistry. You have to be sensitive to measurements and things like that.
Yeah.
So all I did was decided to play with flavor, not so much the ingredient amounts and that sort of thing, because that's very important in baking. You have to stick with the measurements. If you try to stray away from them, you could be smelling yourself for disaster. So
I've been there.
Yeah,
been there, done that in the kitchen. You live, you learn, though, right? Certain amount of baking soda, powder.
Exactly.
Do people try and find out your recipes? Are they considered secret recipes?
People are always asking for our recipes.
Yeah.
So we have published some recipes. It's very hard to publish recipes that are going to be able to work well in a home environment. We're baking on bulk, so we're not baking one pie, we're baking 30 pies. So when we're making a pie filling, we're making pie fillings in big batches.
Okay.
Same with butter tarts, same with scones, same with most of the baked goods that we do. So for me to condense a recipe back for somebody to be able to replicate at home takes a little bit of finessing. It takes time.
Okay.
You can't just divide it.
Okay, so for example, can you give us an example where we could find a published recipe?
The original Humble Pie Bakery butter tart recipe was published in the Food and Drink magazine, I believe in 2008. I'm not sure, but you could research it.
Okay.
A strawberry rhubarb pie recipe was published in Unique Muskoka magazine 2 years ago.
Did you get feedback from people trying that at home?
Yes, I did.
And
they had success.
They had success?
Yes, they did, and they were very grateful. For most of my customers, the hardest thing for them to do is to make pastry. It's not for everybody. It's a very difficult, it's hard. What we do, we help our customers. We don't mind selling our pastry. We'll make pie shells and sell them.
Oh, great. So you'll sell the final product, but if I feel like baking one day, I can come over here and buy the shell?
Absolutely.
That's why you're amazing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the strawberry rhubarb pie. Is that a favorite? Is that your signature pie?
I'm going to say our Humble Pie is our signature pie because it's named after the bakery.
Okay.
The strawberry rhubarb pie, however, is a very seasonal pie.
Okay.
So it's very, very popular in the summertime, and it's actually the most in demand right now.
Okay.
We only offer it from probably beginning of July until the end of summer, which is kind of quickly approaching. It's when those ingredients are freshest.
So you got me there. And so people that bake and cook know the best recipes are done seasonally because you're going to use those local produce when they're fresh. So you know what I'd love? So you told me about the most popular. Is there one you could give me most popular for each season? For example, what's most popular in the fall?
In the fall, apple pies are very popular.
Yes.
But also we sell pumpkin pies here, and we sell hundreds of pumpkin pies.
My fave.
Yes, and it's my favorite actually too. For me, it's like a little blend of dessert and savory at the same time, so I love it. So that's the most popular. What
kind of pumpkin are you using for that?
We use a pumpkin puree, and we add all of our own ingredients to it, making it our own, and we produce them again en masse. Like going through a Thanksgiving weekend, we'll sell up to 200 pumpkin pies. Easy.
200 pumpkin pies for that weekend?
For that weekend,
Okay, so take me into spring.
Spring, we're starting with our berry pies. Now, coming from the bakery, It's difficult for us, and it's very costly for us to be going to orchards and sourcing product directly from them. So we have to work with large distributors who are purchasing ingredients.
Okay.
And we buy in bulk. So we buy pounds and pounds of fruit in frozen format, and then we assemble our fillings from that frozen fruit.
Okay, so then we've done spring, and then summer we're back to strawberry.
Strawberries, yeah, berry, wild
berry.
blueberry pies
Oh my
are very. We
gosh.
do a wild blueberry pie. It's very, very popular. And our cherry pies this year, I'm not sure what's happening. We've been making them for the last 10 years, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden this year, people are going crazy for cherry pies.
Well,
And they love them.
I've been making cherry jam this year. Do you sell the separate jams?
No, we don't.
Oh,
Our pie
okay.
fillings work because of the way the ingredient blends are.
Okay.
We use the cornstarch as a natural
Okay.
thickener for our pies, so it doesn't really translate to a jam.
To a jam.
I will, however, in the fall, make a cranberry jelly that we put in our Linzer cookies.
Okay, so we gotta talk cranberries. We're
Yeah.
in Muskoka. So far, pretty much everyone I've
Yeah.
interviewed has thrown in something about cranberries. Okay, so you do a cranberry pie.
We don't do a cranberry pie. We do a cranberry buttermilk scone, and it's probably
Okay.
our most popular seller. It's a cranberry lemon scone, and
Okay.
it's very popular.
Okay.
And as again in the fall, I will make a cranberry jelly that goes into our Linzer cookies.
Okay.
Traditionally, the Linzer cookie has a raspberry center, but for the fall, I
Okay.
make a cranberry jelly, and people go crazy for it.
Since you mentioned scone, I'd love to know the secret, without giving away your recipe, what's the secret to making a good scone? Because you know, they can come out as hard as a rock.
Yes. When I first started baking, I was doing a traditional European style scone.
Okay.
A soda scone.
Okay.
And it definitely has a different texture to it. It's a denser product.
Okay.
Our scones are called a buttermilk scone. So they look more like a very big tea biscuit, and they're
Oh.
very rich because they have butter and buttermilk and eggs. Traditionally, scones don't have the eggs in them.
Okay.
Or the buttermilk for that matter. So
Okay.
our scones are very soft, and they can also, you can infuse any kind of flavor into them. You
Okay.
can put raisins in them, you can put apples and cinnamon in them.
Oh
You
my
can be
God.
very creative
I'm
with
getting
a
so
scone.
jealous because getting the scone soft is always an issue for me. So you don't, I mean, do you ever give away those recipes? Have they been published?
Only
Just-
once a customer begged me for a blueberry dark chocolate scone recipe, and they were relocating, so I gave them the recipe with, sworn to secrecy. I have actually had two other bakeries ask me, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to
Well,
do that.
you mentioned the blueberry and the dark chocolate, which those of us who bake, that is one of the most amazing combinations. I don't know if people know that out there, but combining the
delicious.
two
Yeah.
in a cookie, in a muffin, and like you mentioned in that scone, that is
Yeah, they complement each other really, really well.
absolutely. And it takes away, like I'm happy you said dark chocolate.
Yeah, have
because
to.
you don't need the milk chocolate for that.
No. I think
Okay.
in baking, really, we only use dark chocolate in any of our baked goods here. It's not too sweet.
Yeah.
And our bakery is very popular because we do not oversweeten any of our products, and our customers love that.
Okay.
Our pies taste like the fruit that they're supposed
my
to taste
gosh.
like. Our cookies do not have an overwhelming amount of sugar in them.
Okay.
So that's why they're popular. Butter tarts, however, on the other hand, they got a lot of sugar.
They're a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time that we talk secret recipe.
I think that it would be very timely to make our strawberry rhubarb pie.
Okay, so using fresh strawberries.
We use a fresh strawberry, fresh frozen strawberry, fresh frozen rhubarb.
Yeah.
And we use a different kind of product in the bakery, but for home use, we're going to be using, to add to that just the right amount of flavor, a little bit of strawberry jam.
I like it already.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so
And it works
strawberry.
really, really well.
Okay.
And then, of course, we're going to be using cornstarch. It acts as a thickening agent, a natural thickening agent when the pie is cooking in the oven.
Okay.
And that's it. A little bit of sugar. That's it.
In Toronto at Fat Dogs Visual, see if I can do your pie justice, but I am a little nervous though.
I will send you positive energy.
Thank you so much, and I have seen you back there. And by the way, you didn't tell us, are you the one who actually came up with all of this recipes?
I developed some of the recipes on my own, but again, working back with the original owner of the Humble
Oh,
Pie
right.
years ago,
Okay.
he introduced me to the whole concept of commercial baking.
Okay.
So over the years, working with different bakers, we have modified the recipes significantly
Okay.
and come up with our own blend of ingredients. But some of the recipes were original, some of the recipes are new.
But it's always nice that the owner is back there. I loved when I came today and I saw you back there. So
Yeah.
on any given day, somebody can pop into Humble Pie and see Michelle.
Yes, I'm always here.
Oh, we love love that. Thank you so much for being our guest
Thank you
today.
very much. I appreciate it.
So tell me about who you wanted to give a shout out to
Well,
today.
I want to give a shout out to my very good friend Mish, and here I am on a cooking show.
Where are they?
Michelle is in Ajax. She's a very good friend, and we're both big foodies.
Oh my, Star Foodies.
Star Foodies.
Welcome back, Chef Jeremy.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Great to see you again, Yasu.
Awesome. Yasu.
Yeah, I know you always practice your Greek in between the episodes.
I have to.
So we have been now filming post-COVID, kind of still in between COVID, keeping our social distancing,
Absolutely.
but bringing you these beautiful recipes. And today I brought you a pie.
Everybody needs dessert right now.
Everyone needs dessert. But I know when we spoke last time, you told me that you're not that big of a baker, but our last episode turned out amazing. So I'm like, I got to bring this to you. And we were filming in beautiful Muskoka, Ontario.
I love it up there. It's awesome.
Isn't it beautiful?
Especially this time of year. It's awesome.
Fresh produce. We visited Humble Pie.
Beautiful.
So we hooked up with the owner, Michelle. Thank you so much for that strawberry rhubarb pie. And so I begged her, you gotta give me the secret recipe to give it to Chef Jeremy so he can teach us how to remake this at home. So I brought it back for you.
I hope I do it justice.
You will. You're gonna knock it out of the park. You're amazing. I'm here to assist you.
I appreciate
You're
it.
sous chef. But I want to let you know and everyone at home that Michelle never gives out her recipes.
Yep.
So this recipe was actually published in Unique Food Magazine. That's a Muskoka magazine. And so we're gonna try and replica it today. And I'd love everybody at home to try it. To dokimaste que si sospiti na maspite po suaf koluitan. So I'm letting them know. Is it easy or hard? Try it at home. Let us know. We're gonna get started now.
I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, she told me that the pie crust.
It's the biggest thing, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's start with the ingredients for everybody.
For sure. So I've got some Ontario strawberries,
Okay.
Ontario rhubarb, sugar, and lemon. So I've already chopped up 3 cups of these beautiful strawberries.
Okay.
They look delicious. They smell amazing.
Try one.
And whenever you're cooking, you have to taste your ingredients, especially fruit.
Now, let's talk rhubarb because
Yeah.
honestly, I was waiting to do this with you because I wanted your expertise. Like, what is this?
First of all, it's hard to get into the bowl when you chop it up because they roll. But so rhubarb is a vegetable,
Okay.
and it's tart. And a lot of people, like, I mean, my grandmother used to make rhubarb pie all the time, so I was really happy to see this recipe. And I know that she grew up just literally cutting it, especially when it's nice and like super like crimson red like that,
Yeah.
and just throwing some sugar on top.
Wow.
And then eating it like that because it is very, very tart. So what we're gonna do is macerate all of this fruit.
Okay.
So macerating is putting sugar on it and some sort of acidity.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
almost like what people do like ceviche for
Okay.
fish,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it breaks down the protein, gives it some great flavor, and sort of par cooks it. You definitely need to do that. But sort of the sourness,
Because it is tough.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely...
So, like, for this to be in a pie,
Yeah.
this has got to be, like you said, like saturated in the sugar.
Absolutely, and you still want to keep it so it's nice and crunchy because it gives the nice flavor and texture to the pie and helps to keep it together.
See, I love baking as a hobby. I would have never thought to combine rhubarb. I'm not big on pies. Like I can whip out those cookies like we've done together.
Yes, we have.
But the pies, she surprised me with the rhubarb. So I can't wait to see how this is gonna, like, first of all, flavor wise.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And again, it's like texture and flavor together.
Okay.
So it's not like a gelatinous pie. It has actual like consistency to it,
Okay.
which is really nice. So I'm going to add in our sugar and then, another piece of rhubarb. And then I've got some Collingwood rye whiskey.
Yes, keeping it from Ontario.
Absolutely. That's also going to help to make it macerate even quicker because the alcohol is going to break it down. And then I've got a little bit of cornstarch just to give it some body and keep it together. And then we've got some lemon. So again, as I said, the acidity is what we need. And this is gonna 2 wedges, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, this surprised me too. I didn't know that we should use this like for the pie, the lemon.
Oh, it just really adds flavor to it because if you think about all the different ingredients, I'm adding in a little bit more lemon in there because those strawberries are really, really ripe. So I don't want it to be overly sweet. So you want to keep it well coated. This is gonna have to sit for, well, actually, since I'm putting in the alcohol, about 20 minutes. Normally you let it sit for about 45.
Okay, the alcohol was whiskey?
The was actual Collingwood rye whiskey.
Okay. Can we substitute the types of alcohol?
You totally can. You want to go with a brown spirit, though, to give it sort of that extra little kick in the flavor.
I came to the right person for that.
Of course
I
you
keep
did.
forgetting Chef Jeremy's such an amazing mixologist. So we learned so much, and you said keep it brown.
Keep it brown because they'll have more flavor. So you want the tannins in there. You can even use a Madeira or a cognac or a port, and it all works out great.
You had me at cognac.
Oh, of course. Come on now.
Okay.
Who doesn't like that? So, I don't make crusts. So I picked up some puff pastry, which you can use.
And it's like at any supermarket, right?
Yeah, it's in the frozen food aisle.
Okay.
I'm just gonna roll it to get it a little bit thinner, and it's already on a wax paper, so you don't have to worry about putting down flour.
Μπράβο. Εντάξει, να ανοίγουμε το φύλλο, μας είπε και η Michelle, είναι το πιο δύσκολο πράγμα με αυτό το pie. Michelle was saying that if you can nail the pie crust, then you pretty much like nail the pie.
Oh, for sure. And by the way, I'm using my grandmother's rolling pin
Bravo.
for extra luck.
And your grandmother was Ukrainian.
Ukrainian, so Babcha, this one's for you.
Oh, I love it.
Give me the luck, baby. So I'm just gonna roll it out a little bit before we put it into the nonstick pan. I know it's a nonstick pan, but I still greased it a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, just to help the release so it doesn't crack.
Okay.
So here we go. Let's put this guy in here.
Okay.
Thank you. So I like to do it like this, and then I'm gonna peel it off. And again, just be careful with it, but the great thing about puff pastry is if you make a hole, just cut off a bit and you can just patch it up.
You know what? That's one thing I love about baking is just kind of cut and paste, put that all together.
Totally.
Right?
So, which is great, and that's what you're going to see me doing, because I'm going to cut off the excess and then patch it up because we're putting a square onto a circle.
Okay. And this, Chef, how long, like obviously this is defrosted, it's super easy to work with. Did you leave this out an hour or so?
Yeah, so it's totally frozen. I stuck it in the fridge overnight and then pulled it out, and you want to leave it for like 10 to 15 minutes outside the package before you're going to use it, just so you can, so it's malleable enough. It's easy. And what you want to make sure is that you actually help it to get into the creases and crinkles of the pan.
Okay.
So I'm using a tart pan just to make the crust look pretty. If you've got smooth edges, you don't really have to worry about this, but you want to get it right into the corners so that when you put in the filling, it doesn't tear your dough.
Okay.
Yeah, so give it some room to relax. Everybody needs room to relax.
Everybody needs the words να ερεμήσει. Δεν θέλουμε να κουράσουμε πάρα πολύ το ζυμάρι, το αφήσουμε να ερεμήσει και αυτό. So we've got that tucked in. I can feel that at the end, this is gonna look awesome. I can tell. Yeah.
I know. Come on.
I'm giving you those vibes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I had no doubt.
Okay.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah, so we just gotta wait for this and we're gonna drain it.
Magical TV time. All right,
and I love that chat about pies.
Yes, absolutely. Did you learn so much?
I learned a ton, actually.
I think the most important thing is that we got to go back to Muskoka.
Yes.
And learn how to make some more pies.
I fully agree.
From Humble Pie. So our filling is looking more juicy. I think this is what you wanted,
it's
right?
It's looking awesome.
Okay.
And so we're going to be left over with quite a bit of juice, which you can use for cocktails afterwards, too.
Great.
Yeah, which is great. So we're going to strain it out. Can you hold on to my colander for me?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. And I'm just going to dump this in. And we're going to use a little bit of that juice. So I'm going to leave a little bit left in the bowl and try and keep it all in your colander.
So the point is, Chef Jeremy, we want to take out as much as the juice as possible so it's not too mushy.
Exactly. So I'm just using a little bit of it, which is still in the bowl.
Okay.
Doesn't that smell awesome? Terrific. So let's make some room here.
Okay.
Let's get the real work done. So again, I always do my own little riff. So this is wild blueberry jam instead of strawberry jam. So we've got blueberries, strawberries, and rhubarb.
And did you know that there's the most amazing cranberry marsh in Muskoka? They are known generally for the berries, right? So, yeah.
I didn't know that about the cranberries, though.
Well, on a future episode of Star Foodies, Chef Jeremy, I foresee you making me something with cranberries.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I appreciate that. So we're just going to stir this all up.
Okay.
And just want to make sure that it's all coating the fruit, because this is going to act as the gel.
Okay.
To keep it all together.
And she did mention when we were chatting in Muskoka that cornstarch is really important for this. We did add that because that's really what's going to keep it together too.
It is the coagulant.
Coagulant.
Yes. Yeah, so that when you cook, it all keeps everything nice and congealed. And here we go.
And that's a lot of filling.
Well, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
We've got to make a good pie here.
This is a good hearty strawberry
This is a great
rhubarb
pie. So here's the other tip. You want to make sure that you press it all down.
Okay.
Otherwise, the coagulant doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got everything in there, and you can smell
Oh my God.
the fruit.
It looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. You know, from you, I know because you're so artistic with your food.
I thought
So
you were going to say I'm beautiful.
you are beautiful as well.
Appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
newlywed. And
I am.
newlywed and beautiful.
Absolutely.
You got that newlywed glow.
I hope so.
Or maybe from the sun. I don't know.
It's from all of it.
Well, we have a beautiful last taste of summer here in
Yes, we
Ontario.
do.
Isn't it beautiful this
It's
fall?
gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And a great time to head to Muskoka and get some of these, beautiful fruits to make your own pie at home, because we've given you such great steps here. So what do we have next?
So now, just to give it a little extra something, we're going to put strips across the pie.
This is what makes it look super fancy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Chef Jeremy has been working away. during
As
the
always.
commercial break. I put all the chefs to work here. You should know that by now.
I do.
All right, so all you did was cut up these pie strips.
All I did? Come on now.
Come on,
Look at the artistry here.
Listen, I'm going to be truthful. I did not help with the cutting up the pie strips.
It's pretty easy. You just don't want to get them too thin when you're pulling them off the wax paper.
Okay.
So, which is fine. And then just try and make it look even. Try not to get into other bowls. And I'm going to cut the ends off afterwards, but I just kind of want to make it look pretty. Just like that. And like that. Cool. And pinch it so that it sticks.
There, I'll help here.
Thank you.
So we want to we don't want anything hanging. We want it all
Well,
here on the side, right?
I like a little bit of the hang there.
Yeah?
It makes it look kind of cool. Not too much,
okay.
but just a little bit, just to keep it rustic and
then-
cottage-like.
And cottage-like and Muskoka-like. You did tell me something, though, that we do a lot in the Mediterranean kitchen. You're going to put some egg wash.
I am.
Okay.
So when it's part cooked and you start to see it turning golden brown, I'm going to put just egg wash on the strips and on the crust. Just helps to make it a really nice golden brown, cook evenly.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is put too much on the edge, otherwise your crust is going to burn, and then you've got issues.
So we can't really leave, go to our friend's house, come back, because halfway through, right?
We do need to wash it a little bit if you
Okay.
want that great flaky pastry.
Yeah, we want that. Okay, so into the oven?
Into the oven. want to cut a pie while it's too hot.
Okay.
It'll all slip all over the place.
This is not American Pie, Chef Jeremy.
No, this is not.
Keep it rated PG here for Star Foodies. We gotta let the pie cool.
We do.
Simmer down, and I have to say, it looks amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle from Humble Pie, for this recipe. We hope we did it justice, but man, these are so symmetrical.
Thank you. I did my best.
Yeah, you did a great job. Like, it honestly looks beautiful and it's shiny, and I know the egg wash helped with that.
It does, and it helps to keep the browning even.
Okay, so now the hardest part is taking it.
We cross our fingers. So I've got a bottom on this.
Right now.
And we're gonna remove.
I'm gonna help a little.
Sure. Awesome.
Yes, perfection.
We're gonna slide this off
Okay.
and release it a bit. Come on, baby.
So again, the key is letting this cool off.
You got it.
Okay.
And here we go. Let's have
Okay.
some pie.
Let's have some pie. And I want to thank Babsha Anastasia for the beautiful rolling pin.
Thank you.
Is it spasiba as well?
It is. Look at you.
Multicultural here on
Absolutely.
OMNI.
My goodness. So here is the first slice, and I think her rolling
gonna
pin
help you.
brought me luck. Oh, come on.
And it's so juicy. And once again, we drained
is.
it. So the draining is so important. Πρέπει να βγάλουμε όλα τα υγρά. All right. Oh my God.
Boom.
Michelle from
Perfect.
Humble Pie. This is gorgeous. Here's your strawberry rhubarb pie, courtesy of Chef Jeremy. I'm going to get one more.
There we go.
Plate. Okay. Λοιπόν, θέλω να ευχαριστήσω το Tourism Board, Muskoka, πάρα πολύ, Katie O'Hearn, Michelle from Humble Pie, Chef Jeremy. You rocked it once again.
You know what?
Here, you get your own piece.
Thank you.
I want to give a shout out to my very good friend Misha, and here I am on a cooking show.